Welcome to Crown and Connections with Rob Clemons. I am excited. Today is January 19th, 2022, also known as National Popcorn Day. So I got some surprises on this show for that. And, you know, one of the things that's great is we're in sunny Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's just a beautiful place to be. So many people coming in from out of town. And as a local business owner and manager, I don't own my current business, but as a manager of a local business, we get this question a lot. What is there to do in Myrtle Beach? Where should I eat? What should I do for fun? And so I thought no better person could be on the show today than Halley Murrow with How To with Hallie on Grand Strand today. Hey. Welcome, Hallie. How are you?
I am so good. Thank you so much for having me.
Man, well, no, thank you for being here. I was like, when I found out you were going to be on the show, I was like, this is so awesome because there are so many great things we can talk about today. You've done so much out there with your show. So we're going to dive into that a little bit if that's good with you.
That sounds good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, but first, how long have you lived in the area for?
Almost 10 years.
10 years in Myrtle Beach. Okay.
I actually came as a reporter from North Carolina, which is where I'm originally from. And originally I thought I wanted to be a news anchor, but I quickly realized lifestyle was the way for me. I love spreading positivity and sharing fun so that people can have fun too. So I just stuck around. Well,
you know, I got to tell you, you do that well because, you know, when we first met at the home show, you're over there, you just immediately make people feel good. And you kind of like, you always get a great comment for things. So I definitely, you picked the right career field.
Thank
just
you
want to
so
go ahead.
much.
Go ahead. So tell me, you know, when it comes to a desk anchor, you know, I always kind of thought that would be a cool job, but I found out I couldn't read the screen fast enough.
The teleprompter, that's tough.
That's kind of tough. I mean, that's a skill, right?
Oh, it is, for sure.
Now, did you ever get into that line of things and actually try that?
I did. Yeah. Like I said, I thought I wanted to be a news anchor. Actually, I decided that when I was 7 years old.
7, okay.
Yeah, I was really young, and so everything I did kind of worked up towards that. And once I got into news, I realized it takes a really strong person that can compartmentalize everything. And that wasn't me. I took it home with me. I'm an empathetic person. I soak everything in. I feel energy. So I realized I needed to pivot a little bit. And I started doing hotel-vision here locally. We were in over 100 hotels as an information system.
Nice.
And through that, I read a teleprompter all the time.
Oh, really? Oh, so you're like the best at teleprompters.
I don't know about that.
Right.
But I did it for a while.
Now, do you get people who still like will come back years later and go, you know, I remember seeing you on that on the little hotel-vision thing, right? Because you know, when you're bored, there's nothing better than that. You know, for some reason, just watching it go and cycle on through.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of good information about kind of the area and fun things to do. Actually, I think you can still see it at the Myrtle Beach Chamber of Commerce. I walked in there one day and I was like, oh my word, what was I thinking with that hair? It was 10 years ago.
Could you describe the hair to us? Was it like a
short?
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, that's that. Now I'm going to the Chamber of Commerce field trip for the Monarch people today.
Be gone by the time.
That's awesome. Well, you know, one thing I like to ask people sometimes is when you've had so much success as you've had in the business, I like to know, you know, what your goals were. And people give me all kinds of answers, but you have known you wanted to be on TV since you were like 7 years old.
Yeah.
Wow. How do you, as a little kid, how do you get inspired to do that? Was it something that, you know, somebody that inspired you directly, or was it in your family?
It was. I was so close with my grandparents, and we used to watch QVC together. So I loved watching QVC with my grandma Farlow, and I said, I want to be a QVC host because it brought her so much joy. She felt like she was friends with the host.
Oh my gosh.
And so I knew that I wanted to make that connection with people. So originally I kind of started with the QVC host. I auditioned quite a few times.
Oh, okay, yeah.
QVC. I had an interview with one of the producers there. I didn't get the position, but God had another plan.
Yes.
So Grand Strand today has been everything I've ever dreamed of.
That's so cool. Well, did your grandmother just have all kinds of, like, I picture now when you went to your grandmother's house, there's all kinds of QVC stuff all over the place.
She had a little bit of everything. She made porcelain dolls. She had all kinds of fun stuff and knickknacks that she would order and that were special to her. She Christmas shopped year round from QVC.
Oh yeah.
So.
You know, I don't know if it was ever on QVC, but when I was growing up, they had this show, and it was a baseball card show. And so, like, this is a fun fact for everybody. I used to, when I was a 7 to 10 year old, I thought I was going to be a baseball card store owner.
Oh my God.
Now it seemed like a great plan at the time, but then when you look at the baseball card market in 2022, you can see why I'm not not a baseball card store owner, not as quite as the lucrative career I thought it would be, but they had this show where these guys would come on and they kind of like get you all hyped up on Johnny Bench baseball card, buy it now for $10. I couldn't even figure out how they did it, but very, very tempting what you see on those shows, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
you never know what you're gonna find.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so then you transition over, and like you said, you get out in the public and you do fun things. And so I kind of thought we might spend some of the show here talking a little bit about some of your experiences on How To with Hallie, if that's okay with you.
Yeah,
all right, awesome.
Absolutely. The cool thing about How To with Hallie, I started it as a craft venture. I wanted to show people that you didn't have to be really crafty to make things or have a lot of money to make things, so they were all really affordable, and that was inspired by my grandmother too.
Yeah.
And then I decided, we can show people how to do anything. So we've done everything from flying a plane to wakeboarding to feeding a 1-ton crocodile.
Oh, man.
And the reason for that is I want people to step outside of their comfort zones. I like to say if I can do it, anybody can do it. So we don't back down from a challenge. And it's an easy way to kind of find new things that you may not know that you were interested in. Like we did skeet shooting and we were like, wow, this is really fun. And my photographer ended up just killing it. And I was like, I am never making you mad. But he said, I play a game at home on the, he plays, what is it called? Where you shoot things on the video game.
Was it like, are we talking like a modern video game that you shoot things on?
Yes.
I don't know. Like when like back in the day, if you go way back, you go to .con and then all.
Right. He does the modern day version of that.
I have to check with my resources on that one. I'm going to check with one of my producers over here and see what he's saying.
I'm sure somebody knows listening. They're like, why don't you know the name of this?
Right.
But he was so good, and he said, I might want to start doing this. And so that's kind of the goal of it. People can find new things that they might not ever try or didn't know were right here in our own backyard, and they feel inspired to give it a try. I
think that's amazing. I always had this theory that, we always talk about, if you watch the Olympics, for example, you'll see what they always call it. When you win the 100-meter, what do they call you? You're the fastest person in the world, right? But I'm always thinking maybe there are people who never actually tried to run, right?
Yeah.
How do you know that it's actually the fastest person in the world? They probably are, because these people are amazing. But the point is it's great to try new things and see what you're good at. So I love the concept. Well, let's go back to the alligator thing. So how do you feed it now? You fed the alligator?
Okay, so this got really interesting. We were on live TV, y'all, so this can get a little crazy.
Yikes.
And they said, Hallie, do you want to come inside the cage? Oof. And I said, I don't know about that. I'm not sure that I want to come inside the cage, but we want to learn about it. So we actually set up on the fence, and the trainers went inside. They feed this crocodile like the biggest piece of meat you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And they said, I promise he's eating the meat. He doesn't care about you, but I wasn't so sure about that.
Right.
I was like, is this just the appetizer? But we learned how often they eat and kind of the interesting facts that you would never know. This is the largest crocodile in, I think, North America, and it's at Alligator Adventure in North Myrtle Beach.
No kidding. How long is this thing? Do you know?
Is it long? It's it literally
20
weighs
feet
a ton.
long, or
yeah, it's huge.
Oh my gosh!
So it's one of those things you see it and you're like, wow, this is real. It's
real.
Real.
Man. Now I heard, I haven't been to Alligator Adventure yet, which I guess is a great place to go. So people should try that out. Do they have what else do they have out there? Because I heard at one point they had a liger or something. Yeah. I don't know if they still have that.
They have hyenas. We fed hyenas. I did feed the hyena.
Okay.
That was really scary. My uncle messaged me and said, stay away from that thing. You're going to die. But we tried it out. We learned about them. They're actually a really interesting species. It's not just what you see on The Lion King.
Oh, okay.
They serve a really important purpose in the wild. So you kind of learn about that. They have a lot of snakes. They even have baby alligators, which people are always excited to see.
Yeah.
They have a whole place kind of designated to that. And albino alligators, which is really cool.
That's kind of cool.
You see a lot of species you wouldn't typically see. They built a new bobcat cage, which was awesome. So it's a really cool facility, and the people there, I think actually Thad, who we worked with, had some of the animals live with him, even the hyenas when they were little.
No way.
So yeah, and he's so trained in venomous snakes. So if someone gets bit by a venomous snake, he is actually trained to treat them, and he actually does that.
Did he tell you that? Was that part of the way they got you out there? Like, don't
that's
worry.
How we got convinced to do it. I was like, well, if it happens, we got a good guy.
I mean, it's kind of cool that he took the animals home, because you figure, I've watched Jurassic World, and I've come to understand you can train velociraptors to be your pets. We all know this now. It's
You're right, exactly. Any animal. Your friend.
No, that's cool. Well, what else? Give me something that you think was like maybe the most, the most scary thing you've done. Was that it, or?
That was not it, actually. I didn't think this was going to be scary. Have you ever been to Radical Ropes in
Radical
Myrtle
Ropes?
Beach?
No, I haven't.
It's kind of in the heart of Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
And you can do all sorts of different activities there. You can climb a rock wall.
Okay.
You can latch in and go across a 40-foot top. So you kind of make your way up there.
Okay.
Well, we did a show with Darian Henderson, who's one of our morning news anchors, and he does our fitness segments. And I said, Darian, it'd be so fun if we did this show together. Like, let's do it. I had no idea what I was in for. I was so scared. He actually made it to the top of the rock wall. I think I made it like maybe 10 feet up. I was so scared.
And it looked a lot further down than.
So much further. And then I kind of glued myself to the wall because I was afraid to drop.
Oh my God.
Nightmare. But by the end of the show, it was so exciting because we did make it all the way to the 40-foot top. And Darian said, Hallie, I did not think you were going to come across that thing, but because we kind of built up to that, I made it all the way across.
Wow.
And it was so cool. And it was one of those things, if you're afraid of heights and you're like, I could never do this, give it a try. And that's what we did. And that's what it was about, kind of overcoming a fear.
That's awesome. No, it's awesome. Now that I think about it, I'm in the roofing industry, and everybody says they're not afraid of heights until you get up at heights. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I thought I wasn't afraid of heights. I guess I am,
Exactly.
kind of thing.
Like looking up, it doesn't look that high, but when you're up there, you're high.
Yeah, you're right, exactly. Was there anything that you've done that stands out to you as particularly funny on the show? I mean, like just a time where you're like, oh my God.
There's a lot of funny stuff. I mean, it's always funny because we have funny guests on the show all the time, and funny things happen. It's live TV. So one time, actually, we went through a haunted trail, and usually I have a wireless mic. But on this occasion, I was actually mic'd into my photographer, who Dustin is just a great friend of mine. I love him so much. We're together every day. But someone came and scared me, and I took off running, forgetting that I was on a leash. So I'm like dragging Dustin. We're on live TV, and Dustin was like, "Oh my gosh, Hallie, really? Like, don't forget I'm over here. I'm about to face plant, and we're not gonna have a show."
That would have been the greatest show, though. Honestly, like I'm picturing a whole Blair Witch Runaway kind of a thing.
It was definitely that vibe. It was scary.
Now I'm going to tell you, I got a couple of haunted house fans at the company. Ooh. So where is this again? How do you get there?
So this was the Dr. Screams. They didn't do it this year, but last year they did it at Thompson Farm for the first time.
Okay.
So it was really cool. But if they've never been to the Brentwood restaurant in Little River, it's South Carolina's most haunted restaurant.
Oh.
And they do a really cool ghost tour there. They've actually shared some footage with me of orbs and different strange things happening in the restaurant. They've been featured on a lot of national networks.
Wow.
So it's interesting.
My gosh,
it's interesting.
I mean, I like haunted houses as much as the next guy. I'm not sure if I want to eat in one.
No.
That may not be like on my hierarchy.
The food is good, I will tell you that.
Okay, well, that's good. I mean, that's
and they say the ghosts are nice. So
they're nice ghosts.
I haven't experienced otherwise.
Now, do the ghosts still have sheets on them, like that old stuff?
I hope not. I don't know.
Okay, gotcha.
Who knows? They might. I don't know.
No, that's funny. Well, that's really cool. Well, in itself, and I want to get back to talking about some of the stuff, but before we get too far along, why, what inspired you to do this? Like, it's called How To with Hallie, but like, what was there an inspiration behind this in general?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, actually, I was trying to figure out how I was going to reach my goals. I had been a news reporter. I was doing a lot of freelance work. I did a show with HTC and the Conway Chamber of Commerce. I was working about 3 jobs, and I kind of had to center myself, and I said, you know, I want to get back to doing something that I'm passionate about, that will help people or inspire people and let them have fun. So How To with Hallie was born in my living room with an iPad. And of course I did it in honor of my grandma Farlow, because she had such a way of making magic out of nothing. I mean, she could literally take scraps from something and make something special. So that's how it started, as crafting, where I would take Dollar Tree finds and repurpose it and show people how they could do it for less than $10.
Wow.
And I started a YouTube channel, and then through that it actually started airing on my show on HTC, and then I just kind of held on to it, and it developed over the years. So we still do crafts every now and again, but a lot of times it's adventure, because we love that too.
That's so cool. Yeah, and it's a great tribute to your grandmother too, who obviously meant a lot to you.
Yes.
You know, made a big inspiration. Very cool. Well, I was going to ask you, in your travels, you know, obviously you've been out, you met a lot of people. Have you met anybody famous as you've been doing this? Any, you know, kind of?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've met a lot of, you know, famous people that were really sweet. My first live interview on WMBF News, it was over 4 years ago. It was my first live interview on the evening news. So needless to say, I was already nervous because I was at a new place.
Yeah.
And I actually got to interview Josh Turner, who was at the Alabama Theater, who I'm a huge fan of.
Wow.
But lucky for me, he was so laid back. You know, he's from the PD, so this is his home.
Yeah.
That was kind of one reason I wanted to interview him. But he was so nice, and I was like, thank God.
I mean, he didn't come with a big entourage and, like, you know, freak you out. Okay, well,
so
that's good.
it wasn't too nerve-wracking. But yeah, we've met a lot of great people over the years.
That's cool.
Recently, I did an interview with Teresa Caputo over Skype, who does the kind of psychic work that we've seen on TLC.
Yeah.
So she did a really fun tour in Myrtle Beach, so we got to catch up with her.
That's cool. Did she tell you anything about yourself that you don't know?
She didn't. I was kind of disappointed. She was like, you know, I don't really like to do readings through interviews. Right. But she did invite me to come, because she likes to kind of see where she's led, I think, from what she shared with me as to who she kind of reads. So that was interesting.
That makes good sense to me. That makes good sense. How hard do you have to work to get to where you're at? You know, I mean, obviously, you know, it's not like a 9-to-5 job. Right. So, I mean, you know, what's the average work week look like for you, and how do you come up with ideas for your show?
Well, a lot of the ideas come from just the people I meet out in the community, or maybe in my free time I find a new place that I want to share with other people. I try to pick places that are going to resonate with people, or special local places that you might not know about, that don't get a whole lot of exposure. Yeah. So I really try to do that. But, you know, a lot of it, I think, is just being passionate about what you do, because I wouldn't be here today if I wasn't. It is a lot of hard work getting to where you want to be. Typically, I'm pretty lucky. I do work kind of from 9 to 5, or my general normal hours. But needless to say, you know, we work outside of that a good bit too. Yeah,
absolutely. Just got to be, you know, driven and always kind of really committed to your craft.
Yes.
So definitely understand that. Well, I'm going to segue over to my next thing, which is, you know, we talked about it's National Popcorn Day today, right?
I'm
so
excited.
Very exciting stuff. So we actually, the good people of the cinema here have offered us the opportunity to try out some of their popcorn. We're over at Stone Theaters over in Market Commons. So very exciting and appreciative of the hospitality they gave us today. But they also gave us some popcorn to try.
So
I don't know if you want to do this. I had this vision, right? So I thought maybe we could try these different flavors, right? And then we can kind of rate them.
Okay,
so, all right, how's that sound to you?
That sounds great to me.
All right, so first up, all right, so let's start off with, what do you want to try? The nacho cheddar?
That sounds really
good.
All
right, so we're going to try a little nacho cheddar here, all right?
This is just a powder they put on here?
Yeah, there's a little powder. They actually gave us these powders for those looking at home, so, you know, kind of,
That's a good one.
It's good.
It's really
I'm a nacho
good.
guy, yeah. Okay.
You know my secret to movie theater popcorn? When I come,
more butter.
I get extra. I literally say that.
I was like, oh my God, yeah. Me too,
Please don't
right?
judge me. I say like 20 extras.
Sometimes, you know, there's just nothing's going to quite do it like movie theater butter.
Yeah.
And you don't want to know how many calories or any of that stuff. You just go in and just have it.
Yeah, we don't care.
Yeah, no.
Calories don't count.
I'm going to say this one's in first place right now, but it did kind of,
really good.
Yeah. All right, so now we're going to go over to the ranch, right?
Okay.
So, all right.
Some ranch. ranch.
All right, I'm gonna.
I love ranch.
Yeah.
Do you eat ranch on everything?
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, ranch makes generally everything better. Sandwiches, potatoes, whatever it is. Now this one, I feel like I didn't get a really good.
Yeah,
I didn't get a good
as
dose of
strong
my.
as the nacho cheddar.
However, yeah, I did just get one that had some extra. Yeah. So okay.
Extra love.
Yeah.
That one's good too.
Ranch is good. Okay, so now we're gonna try the white cheddar. All right, so.
I love white cheddar.
I mean, it's tough. That's actually. All right, so okay, now we're gonna keep this a surprise. I've got my favorite. You gotta have your favorite. We go like this. Okay. So next up we have the kettle corn. For those at home who don't know what kettle corn is, I understand it to be a more sweet flavor. So okay, we're gonna try this out. See, now some of the people on my staff didn't think I would eat this because I don't do sweets really, but I showed them. That's the moral of the story for all of them at home.
It's good, right?
It actually is pretty good.
It's not too sweet.
I don't think I could eat too much of this.
Yeah.
After a while, I get too much, but all right, I got you. Now this is, all right, another big debate here. This is caramel or caramel. Now, which one is proper?
I say caramel.
See, I'm a caramel guy.
Carolinas.
Yeah. I feel like that's got to be a geographical thing.
It's
so we're
kind of like pecan and pecan.
Yeah. It's
Which one
pecan,
do you
right?
say?
Pecan. Yeah. Okay.
Pecan.
Or like, here's another one. What do you call if you have a female who is like you're like the sibling of your parent? That would be, what is that? Is it an aunt?
Your aunt.
Or an aunt.
Your aunt.
And I tend to think, like, there's almost like a line you draw across the United States, and you say, okay, well, across this line we call them ants,
That's
and
right.
then up there, all right, gotcha. All right, so.
It's like a dessert.
Wow. Now I'm not a sweets guy. But if I were a sweets guy, that would be the one.
Good, right?
Okay, all right. And then this last one, what is this called? What is this? This is zebra popcorn.
It's got zebra stripes.
Now, I bet you've done a lot of stuff, but you haven't had zebra popcorn yet.
I've never had zebra
No, all right,
popcorn.
see, so now, you know.
It was the first time for everything.
That's pretty good, too.
It's really good.
They ought to call that ice cream popcorn.
I
Got a little bit of
know,
ice cream
really,
vibe to it.
The chocolate.
Wow. Okay, so now we've had our selection here. What was your favorite? All right.
Out of
One.
all of them,
You got to pick
sweet
one.
versus savory.
Oh, well, see. All right. Okay, all right. We'll go sweet versus savory. All right. So, all right. So, on the sweet side, 3, 2, 1, zebra. Oh, okay. Well, now, like, all right, we're on the same page.
We're at top.
So now we're gonna go to the savory. 3, 2, 1, nacho.
Nacho cheddar.
Oh my God. People, come on down.
Now we know which ones are the best.
The popcorn experts have spoken, and it is nacho and zebra.
So good.
Awesome. Well, that's really cool. I was
know.
hoping we could get in a big feud over this.
I know, me too.
But we're on the same
What was your
page.
second favorite?
You know, my second favorite, I got to say, this is weird because I'm a non-sweets guy. I think I kind of like the caramel
the
next.
caramel?
I really do, or caramel, depending on how you like to pronounce things. Yeah. That's
They're all
crazy.
good.
They were all pretty good. That's great. National Popcorn Day. This was fun, right?
It was so fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was awesome.
Well, what else would you tell us, just for those who are, you're new to the area, you're coming out here, a lot of great things to do. How do people, besides watching your show, which is obviously a great one, how do people find the things they do? What do you recommend if somebody's just getting to the area, or if somebody's lived here for 20 years?
Yeah.
How do you find this great stuff? What do you do?
Get outside of the house and talk to people. We've got so many good people in our area. So if you just talk to people, they will tell you their favorite places.
Yeah.
That's honestly like a lot of the places that I find is through just talking to people and them telling me really cool stories about particular places that I've never heard of. We've been to places that have been here for over 20 years that I've talked to viewers and they've said, Hallie, I've lived here my whole life and I didn't know this awesome place existed.
Yeah.
I found a new favorite place from watching your show, and it's a local place and it's a way to support local and meet new friends and meet new people in the area. So get out there and just explore and look around.
Try it out. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And by the way, I was going to say one other thing. It's been kind of weird, right? We have Channing Tatum and a dog behind us.
I'm not complaining about the Channing Tatum.
And I'm not complaining about the dog because I'm a big dog person. Everybody knows that. Well, I tell you, Hallie, it's been great having you on today. Great energy. You're so great to come on the show with us. We really appreciate it.
you so
Love to have you on
much.
again sometime.
Yes, thank you for having me.
No, it's awesome. Well, it's called How To with Hallie on Grand Strand today. Definitely everybody check it out. Definitely also, if you enjoy our show, this is Crowning Connections, like us, share it with your friends, and we'd definitely love to have you again, as we said. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, and I do want to remind folks, you can watch Grand Strand today live, weekdays at 11 a.m. on WMBF News, so you won't want to miss it.
That's awesome. Great plug. Definitely do that. This has been